As we move on, we are going to discuss buying and selling options. Buying something is very straightforward. Selling an option gets a little tricky because sometimes you are in a position where you are selling something you don't currently own. And that is counterintuitive. However, I will break it down and make sure that everyone understands what it means to sell an option that you don't particularly own either the underlying stock or you don't own the current option that you're selling. Why buy an option? Buying a call or put option, it really gives you the potential position in the underlying stock depending on what the stock price does in the time frame you have until expiration. Most traders buy calls and puts to capitalize on movements in the underlying stock using leverage. Now, we are going to discuss leverage in more detail further down in the course, but basically what leverage gives you is the ability to capitalize on the gains above the strike price you selected for far less money than it would cost for you to purchase all of the shares of stock you need. And to make sure that we're all clear, in order to buy or sell an option, you need to have 100 shares, and the options are priced as 100 shares of the stock. Let's assume Amazon is priced at $2,500 per share. Jack wants to buy a call option. Jack has spent some time doing research on Amazon and decides to take a bullish position through purchasing the $2,500 strike price call option. This gives Jack the right to any value above the strike price he purchased. Let's assume the stock moves up $100. Jack has a $100 gain in his call option. Now, there is going to be some math behind that gain that will describe and illustrate what leverage is. With all that being said, not only is a trading plan important, not only is making sure your emotional aspects are in check, what you want to do as well, and this could be the most important thing, is your research on what you're buying. Now, this course is teaching you about stock options. However, you can buy a call option on the stock that doesn't do very well. You could buy a put option on a stock that does very well. Tiffany, after doing her research, is taking the opposite side of things. She feels that Amazon is going to go down in value and takes the bearish position through purchasing the $2,000 $500 strike price. This gives Tiffany the right to any value below the strike price she purchased. Let's assume Amazon stock moves down $100. Tiffany has a $100 gain in her put option. After 6 months, the actual price of Amazon stock increased. Jack can sell it in the open market, which is most likely what 9 times out of 10 a trader will do. And if your trading plan, again, calls for that, then you should do that. Or he could allow it to expire. If he allows it to expire, he is giving himself added risk because the stock could go down. Or the stock could go up a lot more, and instead of selling it in the market, he could actually wait, and it could actually cause him to have a loss because stocks go up and down. If the actual price of Amazon stock decreased, Tiffany can sell it on the open market or allow it to expire with gains she has on the decreased stock. Moving forward, why would we want to sell an option? Selling options in most cases helps generate monthly income. The option seller is going to receive the option premium right off the bat. They're going to receive that cash in their account, and they are not going to have to give it back. They can use it to pay bills. They can use it for entertainment or for some sort of educational purpose. Option sellers benefit as time passes because as time passes with all options, they lose value. And here is a very critical point that we will be discussing, and I'm going to make it right now, and I'm going to continue to make it. As the option moves closer to expiration, even if the stock is moving in the direction you need it to, it is going to lose value, which is why we need to have a trading plan in place so that when we hit our desired rate of return, we take advantage of it. Because within a few days, even if the stock moves more in the direction we would like it to, we are going to lose some time value. This is referred to as time decay, and we are going to absolutely discuss it in future sections. Today, Tiffany owns 100 shares of Amazon stock. With the $2,500 market price, Tiffany decides to sell one call contract at the $2,550 strike price for $10 per contract. Tiffany immediately generates $10 of income, $10 to be used in other ways, as we just mentioned. Most likely, retirees will use their portfolio to purchase stock and sell calls against them. After 6 months, if the actual price of Amazon stock increased, Tiffany will capture the $10 of income right the very first day that she sold the call option, but she's also going to capture the $50 per share. Most people question, why doesn't everybody do this? And there's a couple of answers to that. Most people will not take the time to watch a class on it, but most people do not have the money to buy 100 shares of Amazon or 100 shares of Apple or 500 shares of Apple because they just don't have enough capital. If they have enough capital to buy 100 shares, it may not be advantageous for them to sell a call option because one of the main drawbacks of selling an option, and this is more or less called a covered call, one of the main drawbacks is we are giving up the upside gain above 2,550. So the max Tiffany can make after selling this option is the initial premium, plus however many shares she has times the $50. If Amazon stock were to go to 3,550, Tiffany would still have to sell the stock for $2,550, and whoever bought the call option would benefit because they would get all of those gains above the $2,550. Now here's an interesting fact, and you'll find it in my book. 80% of all options held to expiration expire worthless. So selling options gives the option seller right off the bat an advantage because of the mechanics of how options are designed. Selling them, you're giving up this what could be a huge rate of return for an immediate rate of return. Now let's say, for example, Tiffany's position generated 2% on her total portfolio. Well, if she's able to generate 2% for the entire year, well, that's a 24% gain. Amazon could go up 150%, and Tiffany would have given up everything above her 24%. However, by selling options, she's not only hedging her risk to the downside, she's capturing those gains right up front. Instead of having to guess where Amazon is going and having to guess and try to pick out the correct time to sell her Amazon position, we're deciding that we should take the income right up front, generate that rate of return, and decide that we're going to be okay with wherever Amazon stock moves over the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, etc. If the actual price of Amazon stocks decreases, Tiffany will capture the $10 of income. However, she will lose value in her Amazon position. This is the hedge that we have been discussing. So, if she were to sell and bring in $10 of income, and Amazon stock were to lose $10 per share, Tiffany will have that $10 buffer to offset any losses until she starts to lose her principal. I want to thank you again. Next up, we are going to be talking about whether we would like to buy or sell an option.